I want to talk about buildings, glass buildings. Have you ever looked at a glass building and thought, why do we have glass buildings? I mean, obviously to house offices or hotels or whatever, but why do we have glass buildings in India? Isn't that idea stupid? I mean, glass buildings are a great idea in a different world, in a different environment where, let's say, it's cold outside. The glass is a great insulator where sunlight is scarce, so that little bit of sunlight creeping into your room heats it up. It's a great solution. It makes life better. But do glass buildings make life better here in India for us? I mean, here in Mumbai, it's not exactly gloomy or dreary where I'd be yearning for the beaches of Goa to escape the cold. Well, it's not cold here, but it is gloomy and dreary right now. But the other 10 months of the year, it's either boiling you, baking you, or boiling and baking you at the same time. In that kind of a situation, a glass building to me makes no sense whatsoever. It's more expensive to make, it's tougher to maintain, and it's less efficient. It requires more energy to operate it efficiently because it's trapping heat, which means you need air conditioning power to keep it cool and running efficiently, which means you also need more energy. Also, what I do not like about glass buildings is that it takes away some of your control and flexibility and your comfort space. I mean, there are no windows for you to open so that you can let hot air out and fresh air in. You have to just depend on the system. This rant isn't about buildings. I mean, it is about buildings, but it's also about certain other things like ADAS. ADAS is a great idea for a different world, for a different environment, where things are neater, more organized, where the system can work efficiently. For our environments, which are quite chaotic, not very organized, ADAS is a pipe dream. It's an excess, it's an expensive excess. It's not something that I want on my car. It's something that I may be forced to have on my car because I don't have the option of opting out. Similarly, let's also talk about sunroofs. I mean, we started with glass buildings and large panes of glass, and these are big panes of glass on our cars. Sunroofs were also a solution for a particular world and environment. They let you cool your car or warm your car, and it worked for that environment. For us, it's about imagery like those glass buildings. It's about seeming, looking a particular way for building aspiration. It's a great tool to draw attention and audiences for people to stick young people out of without caring about the consequences. It's not a great solution. It's not making our lives better. You are actually, well, it's inefficient. You're spending more money for it for a system that actually reduces the structural rigidity of your vehicle. You end up spending more on it not just because of the glass, but because the structure then has to be reinforced to make up for that lost rigidity. It increases the weight. It increases the amount of heat in the cabin in our environment if it is not designed properly. And of course, there are more things to break down in case they do, because there are more moving parts. There are glass parts, right? So, what's the point here? The point, quite simply, is have you looked at what's on offer today and thought about why is it there? Do you need it? Is it making your life better? I mean, as for ADAS, I would like a ADAS light. We are at level 2, I'd like level 1. Give me blind spot warning, give me a few other features like rear cross traffic alert, high beam assist, and I'd be happy with that. For the more advanced systems, I'd like for us to get to a point where it can be standard fitment like ABS, where it will work no matter what to keep you safe on the road. It will deliver value. That's when I'd be willing to pay for it. That's when I'd want it on my vehicle. Until then, I'd want it to be an option. I shouldn't be forced to buy it just because I want the top end variant. I should have the option of saying, I do not want that. Sunroofs have become a default of sorts for cars to stand up and say that they're delivering everything. And I'm sure it is attracting a lot of people. But I think you should choose better. And I wouldn't choose to have a sunroof on my car, even if I was buying the top end variant. I'll admit that sunroofs do have some utility, especially the large ones, because they open up the sense of space. They make even smaller vehicles feel more spacious. But today, I wouldn't spend on one. I'm the guy who bought the second generation Busa when the third gen was right around the corner because I wanted the simpler system, the system that worked, the one that delivered value, that had proven its ability over time. That's who I am. So maybe I'm not the right guy. But in the same breath, I will admit, as an enthusiast, I am excited by ADAS. I'm excited to see the possibilities. I'm excited to see it work well. It will take away some of our control then, but we'll be living in a different world at that point in time. It will serve a need then. Today, the technology is piggybacking on us. It's not really delivering a better world for us. It's not delivering that much value to us, but we are paying for it. So, why are we paying for it? It doesn't make sense to me. To me, we should have these systems when they work. And so, what I'm asking of you is think at what's being offered, look at what adds value to you, and choose accordingly. Ask the manufacturers, and the manufacturers listening in should think about offering these as options. They should not be a part of the package as a default. We shouldn't be asked to pay for these. So that's where we started with buildings and glass buildings. And basically, it comes down to choices, things that work, things that make our lives better. Choose the ones that do. The ones that don't, we should have the option of opting out with those. So this is the MotorInc Spark I wanted to talk to you about. And this time was buildings. Next time, I think I'd like to talk about aeroplanes and people in aeroplanes. Until then, bye.